Everyone, it's CL, and today I wanted to share with you all something I just came across very recently, and I thought it would be a great way to keep track of the progress I'm making with my goals that I've set out for myself for the year, as well as keeping track of my writing progress and my projects as far as writing is concerned, and that is through using a bullet journal. Late one night I was watching YouTube videos on journaling, and then I came across bullet journaling, and it's something that really caught my eye. I really like how through bullet journaling you can really get a visual representation of how you're doing, and I like that. I really like that. So right after coming across those videos, I pulled out a spare journal that I had in my closet because I have a handful of blank ones, and I made my own bullet journal, and so far I'm really liking how it's looking. I'm a very visual person, and when I can glance at the page and get a visual of how I'm progressing. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show you all what I've been working on. I just started making this yesterday, so it has a long way to go, but maybe it can inspire some of you all if you are struggling with how to organize your projects or your progress with certain things as goals or just daily to-dos. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and change my camera angle so you can see my desk and see what I've been working on. The journal that I chose is this one here with the dragonflies on it. I really like the design, and it's just a regular journal with line pages. And inside I have a blank page so far, and then I created an index in the front. I've seen people do that on their channels, but I most likely will not stick with the index. I'm the type of person that just likes to flip through, and if I get further in the journal, I'll most likely just tab them. I'll like put a tab off on the side or something. And then the next two pages, I wrote out my 2016 reading goals and my 2016 writing goals. These are the only goals that I have set out for myself. So I put them here just in the beginning pages because these are essentially what I'm going to be keeping track of through the year. So on the next page, I start to break down my goal in more detail. So my first reading goal was to read 119 books, or to essentially read more books than I did last year. And since I'm very visual, I created 119 boxes here off to the side. And as I read a book, I start to color in the boxes, and then this way I can at a glance see how I'm progressing. And off to the left-hand side, I did include one of my favorite quotes, which is, "Reading gives us some place to go when we have to stay where we are," and that's by Mason Cooley. And I just put a note at the bottom that each box represents one book. So my next goal was to read 50% of my TBR, which for me would be 21 books. And I try to do something a little different on this page. So I created these simple flowers, and each petal will represent one book. So as I complete one book off of my 2015 TBR, I color in a flower petal, and essentially by the time I color in all the flowers, that means I have completed this goal. And the quote that I included on this page is, "A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads lives only one," by George R.R. Martin. And on the next page is another goal, which I wanted to read 3 series. So what I did is to list out each of the series that I started in 2015, and I was really amazed how many I started. And then off to the side I have completed. So as I complete a series, I will either check this off or write the date of when I completed the series. And I have started so many series that it has continued on the second page. I've started 22 series. That really blew my mind. I didn't know that I started that many series in 2015, but that's what I like about this. It gives you a visual of like, hey, this is how many you've started and how many you've finished. And for me, I haven't finished any since 2015, so. And then one of my goals was to read Edgar Allan Poe's Completed Works, which is a really big book. And that book has 1,018 pages. And this one, I wasn't quite sure how I was gonna document my progress. So I decided to break it up in pages of 50 increments. So as I complete 50 pages, I will check off the boxes off onto the side. And as you can see, I've already read 50 pages, but I still have a long way to go. But it's only the end of January, so I have plenty of time. So my next goal was to spend less money in books than I did last year. So what I did with this one is I created the boxes again, but put down dollar increments in the boxes so I can kind of track my progress to see how I'm doing, to make sure that I'm spending less money than I did last year. And off to the side, I did mark a danger zone, which will let me know hopefully that I'm spending too much. And as you can see, that January has ended and I've already spent like $75. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but in my defense, one of the most expensive books I bought in January was a $30 book that I needed for work for my day job. So I just want to put that out there to make myself feel better. And then my next goal was to read 160 children's books to my kid. And I once again use the boxes. You'll see this a lot throughout my bullet journal because I really, really like the visualization of how I'm progressing. So this is how many books I've read to her so far. I still have a long way to go. And the quote that I put on this page is a quote from Dr. Seuss. It's, "The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more you learn, the more places you'll go." And Dr. Seuss is one of her favorite authors. So I have entered a new section, which is my writing section with my writing goals and my writing progress. Most of this bullet journal will be for me to document my writing, since that's really big for me to make progress in that area for 2016 and for my future. So I broke up this notebook by putting a little quote here. As a writer, you ask yourself to dream while awake. And then that will let me know that, yes, I'm starting to go into my writing section. And with my writing stuff, there's some things I didn't know what order to put them in, but for more constant things, I wanted to put them in the front. Like writing contests, I know this list probably won't exceed this page, so I put it here in the front because I know that not much will change. I haven't entered any writing contests in January so far. In February, I will actually hear back whether or not I placed in a writing contest that I entered at the end of last year. But so far this is blank. Most of my next few pages are going to be blank. And then short stories, I'm going to keep track of my short stories. I have my title, I have whether or not that story has been completed. I haven't written any short stories in January, but hopefully I will start to fill this up soon. So on this next page, I start to document my writing progress, but more monthly. The other stuff is kind of yearly, but when it comes to writing, I really want to look at my writing on a monthly basis. And one of my goals for writing is to write more. And I issued myself a minimum of 1,000 hours this year, which is 3 hours a day. So with February, I created these boxes again, and one box equals 1 hour of writing. So in February, if I write 3 hours a day, I think that's a total of 87 hours total that I would like to reach. If I don't reach that, that's fine, but at least I'll get a visualization of how I'm doing. So if by the end of February, I see that I haven't even colored half of the boxes, then I know that I need to step up my game. But if I color at least, close to the end, I will feel really proud of myself and that I accomplished something. And on this page, I put a quote from Eric Thomas that really touched me. He was speaking a lot of truth when he said this. He says, "Push that snooze button and you'll end up working for someone who didn't." And I put that quote there to kind of motivate me to keep writing and keep going, even when, it feels like I'm doing it and I'm not making much progress, but I'm hoping to really change things around this year. And on the next page, this is blank, but I will put my weekly to-do starting in February, and hopefully I'll start to list out what the things I need to do if I get assigned any writing projects, or if I'm working on something personal when it comes to writing, like setting up my website, that sort of thing. I will have like a to-do. And on the next page, I created like a monthly query tracker. So that means that when I pitch an article, I will write the title of the article here, and I will bullet below who I pitched it to, and I have a status column whether or not they responded, or if they said no, or if they had questions. I will write the status in this column on the right hand side. And yeah, that's all I have so far. Like I said, it's the very beginning stages of this bullet journal. I have a lot of pages to fill up, but I really, really, really like the visualization of what a bullet journal is. That I can already tell is going to be a great help to me. So yeah, that is my bullet journal, the beginning stages. I really like it, and I'm really glad I came across all those other YouTubers that, you know, do videos on journaling and bullet journaling and staying organized. So yep, that's what I have so far. So thank you everyone for watching. I'm hoping that maybe a month from now or 2 months from now, I can give you an update on how I'm doing as far as my progress and show you an update of my bullet journal. Hopefully more pages will be filled in, and my pages won't be so blank. So maybe a month from now or 2 months from now, I'll be able to grasp more of what is working for me, what's not working for me, what I like, what I don't like, and so on. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Eye of Minds has Vertinet. Ready Player One has the Oasis. Sword Art Online has MMORPG, which is the massively multiplayer online role-playing game where they can use nerve gear to fully immerse themselves into the game. So what do I have? I have the latest update for Safari on my MacBook. I mean, what the hell, 2016? I thought it would be a lot cooler than it is.